Roggy,
Oh,
did you say you're thinking of chopping this tree down?
Oh, well, I thought about it.
Yeah.
You know, get some good logs out of that.
Oh, well, I'm sure you could, you know, but...
Handles.
yeah, well, you know, back home in Norway,
Pegs.
I tell you, they used to pay attention to the laps, because, of course, they believe in tree spirits, and I believe you always have to address the spirit and pay it due respect before you cut the tree down.
Yes, well, I was thinking of branching out.
Getting back to your roots.
Yes. But some say I'm barking mad.
Oh, well, you know, folk in Derbyshire, they do like to do things traditionally.
It's a cedar tree. My great-grandfather planted this, Ragnar Magnusson. When he came back from the Mediterranean, he brought back these weird seeds.
Oh, yes. Well, of course, here in Derbyshire, there's a story from Baslow.
Oh.
Yeah, up in the north of the county. And that concerns some tree spirits there in a place that became known as One Tree Hill. Although, originally, there were 3 trees standing there when the story begins. And the land on the hill and immediately around it belonged to a local farmer. And he'd done well over the years, and he had 3 sons. The farm had prospered, and he always liked to stick to the old ways.
Wise man.
Ways. Yeah. And because of this, well, he liked to make tributes at the right times of year. For example, at midsummer. And he'd go to the hill and lay out offerings of food and drink, wreaths of flowers for the spirits who lived in the 3 trees there. And so, well, because of this, his farm always gave plenty of good wheat, and he had many a fine herd. However, there came a time when that old farmer died.
Oh,
Yeah,
they always do.
absolutely. Comes to us all. And, well, back in those days, it was the custom that the eldest son should have the largest part of the inheritance. He took most of the land, including the part with the hill, with those trees upon it. After that, as you can imagine, the second son had most of what was left,
They are.
whereas the third one had the smallest portion, the youngest of the family. And, well, the youngest one, he liked to do things in the same way as their father, and he still honoured the spirits in the trees. However, his 2 older brothers, they didn't bother with that kind of thing. They weren't interested in all of that old superstition, as they called it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And so, as time went on, the oldest brother, he found that things weren't going so well on his farm. No. Somehow, the yields of grain were much lower than he expected.
Oh.
And his herd hasn't grown as much as he expected it to. There weren't as many animals being born, and the ones that were, quite a few of those were runts. And he noticed one midsummer that the youngest brother of the family was up on the hill, laying a wreath by each tree, as their father had done. And he went over there, and the oldest one said to his youngest brother, "You've got no business being here. This is my land now. No, I don't like you being here at all. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut that tree down. I'm going to use the wood to build a fence. Yeah, so no one trespasses on my land." And, well, a few days later, that's what he did. He He turned up with an axe and he began hewing at the base of the trunk. Now, he'd done this more than once elsewhere.
Wow.
Yeah, and so, as he cut into it, he made sure that he was standing in the direction away from where he expected the tree to fall. And he cut almost all the way through.
Yes.
And then, for no apparent reason, the tree toppled the opposite way,
Oh.
right towards him.
Oh, come close, have a look at this.
Yeah, crushed him.
Poor tree.
Crushed him beneath the trunk. And so now there are only two brothers. And the one who's in the middle now became the eldest, and he took possession of what was the older brother's land, including the hill, with what were now two trees left on there. Now, in years gone by, people had said that you could occasionally see women dancing upon that hill, 3 of them, at those sacred times of year. But now, if they passed by, they often said that there were only 2 female figures dressed in green. Now, the second brother, as we said already, he was still very much like the older one. He didn't bother to carry on with the old customs, and so he found that when it came to farming, his business wasn't doing any better than the oldest ones had. In fact, even worse. His crops, they were stricken by blight. His animals, well, they had a disease or two. And
Was it a boggart?
oh, well,
Yeah.
well, one might suggest that he'd have done well to carry on honouring the spirits in the trees on the hill. And since he didn't, he was no happier than the first one had been about his younger brother climbing over the fence and laying wreaths there. They had a big argument about this, and so the older brother said, right, I'm going to take that tree down now. I need to build a barn. And so he got to work with an axe once again, and this time, well, of course, you might think history was repeating itself here, but he'd learned his lesson from the previous accident. And so, when he cut into it, he made a point of standing far enough away when it was about to fall that it couldn't possibly reach him. In fact, he stood beneath the branches of the one tree that was intact. And the tree fell and landed nowhere near him. However, the tree he was standing under, for no apparent reason, one of the branches crashed down upon his head.
Oh, ouch.
Killed him outright. And ever since that time, the brother, who was the youngest and was now the only surviving son of the old farmer, he was in charge of the entire estate, and he continued for as long as he lived to lay wreaths and give offerings to the single spirit upon that hill, a lone figure in green who danced a sad and lonely dance all by herself in memory of her lost sisters. And so, this shows why you should always be careful about which trees you choose to cut down here in Derbyshire.
Indeed.
Broggy.
Wise words there, take care.
Glad I could help.
Indeed.
But of course, for now, well, thanks very much indeed for watching. Please subscribe, click the like button, leave a comment, and when you subscribe, hit that notification bell icon. And follow us on all social media platforms.
Oh yes, and if you're on your phone, you've got to tap the bell, not press it. Different on your mobile, you tap. Oh yes, and don't forget to go and check out the rest of our content and have a good binge, because we've got lots of videos to watch.
Oh, yes.
So that's us out for today. Goodbye.
Thank you. What's they are? Welcome to Northworthy Sagas and Stories. Please watch our videos and feel free to leave a comment. Please subscribe and also click on the notification bell. Thank you for watching.